It's always valuable for our speakers to get as much feedback as possible. Speaker number 3. From a man that is not worthy of hearing Carson's views. Delivering the I forgot my speech. One of our 2 fill-ins today. Please welcome Toastmaster Brandon Moore.
Thank you, Jeff. Good morning, Toastmasters. It was a day not unlike today, a crisp, cool November morning. I was on my way to Toastmasters, so excited to deliver this speech that I had taken so much time to write. And when I arrived, I looked through my backpack. I could not find my speech. And I thought to myself, how am I going to deliver this speech when I forgot my speech? The speech wasn't unlike this one. It had pauses, kind of like that one. And it had some humor, a couple spots where everybody laughed, like just a second ago. And I only had a couple of ums that Eugene caught every time. So if I remember correctly, I only owed like 75 cents at the end of it, and Eugene's asleep. It was an exciting speech. Nobody fell asleep except for Eugene. And a couple of the times it was humorous, but it was also dramatic. I told a story about my family dog and how the family dog basically saved the family just by being there for us, just by being somebody we could all love, somebody we could all blame, and made us all laugh when he ate my birthday cake, the entire thing. And if I hadn't forgot my speech, I'd have the photo of this dog on the day that the dog ate my speech. But I forgot my speech, so I don't have my visual aid today. I wish I could remember it. I also told a story that kept everybody on the edges of their seat. It was a tall tale about a time I chartered a boat from Florida to Texas. I know, it sounds crazy. I had to put wheels on it. And Carson helped me put an engine on there so I could get there. It was quite an awesome story. If I remember the whole thing, you guys would be on the edge of your seat. I also, at one point, walked over and made eye contact with someone like you're supposed to do in a speech, and it really made the point poignant. So that was also part of the speech. If only I had the speech, boy, that would be great, because who knows? And then the speech took a turn to the more dramatic. I discussed some of the biggest life challenges I've ever had to face and how I'm still trying to overcome them, because we all know that we have challenges in life and we're all going through things. And to talk about the weather, that was part of the speech too, because we just went through some storms. And I hope that you weren't weathering these storms alone, because that's not really what life's about, right? We can't weather these storms alone. We have to be, together in order to get through these things. And around the country right now, people are weathering a lot of storms. And we're here as Toastmasters to do what we can to help them out. As well, the story continued on to talk a little bit more about losing loved ones and how difficult that can be. When you lose a loved one, whatever happened between you two throughout your life will be gone. All the things that you said, all the hardships that you faced together, and anything that may have been difficult, you will not remember that. All that's going to be there is the love that you had between the two of you, and that is it. So that's what we have here. And I had to bring things back around to saying something funny again, because things just got too dramatic in this speech, and I didn't want everybody to end sad. So I thought of something funny to say, so I turned to Carson. And the reason I'm not worthy of carrying Carson's shoes is because Carson is one of the most respected members of this club. And I never really knew why. But then when you hear something like this, you go, he's not a jerk. And right? You kind of want to think that about him, or maybe that was just me. Then you find out that he has a lot of great advice stored behind those glasses and under that engineering brain. And that advice can be helpful to all of us. I have a 2-year-old, and she appears to be much smarter than me already. But if she does have challenges, it is nice to know that I have learned something today, that it's possible for you to help as long as you put everything into it, and you can get your kid through anything. And that is very inspiring. But I just wish I could remember the speech. At the end of the speech, when I saw the green light, I realized, thank God, this impromptu speech is over, or almost over. But I had to have a conclusion that Jeff would say, whoa, great conclusion, you wrapped it all up, man, that was awesome. So I had to think of something. Since I had written it already, I just remembered from my notes what I had already written in the speech that I wrote. Not the speech that I forgot like this one, but the other one. It was kind of like this one, but it wasn't this one. It was the one I had. And I talked about driving a boat across the country, engineered by Carson Schaefer. I talked about storms and life and how we got to stick together. And then I even made fun of Carson at the end. And Carmelo wasn't even here to see that I didn't read from my notes today. But Jeff did mention what a great wrap-up it was. And that's all that matters sometimes. Thank you, guys.
Wow, great conclusion, man. You wrapped it all up. And that's how you do an impromptu speech. Great job. Our fourth speaker has been a Winter Park Toastmaster for 27 years. He can attest that life is flying by at an accelerated rate. Delivering a last-minute impromptu, his speech is titled, Take Time to Enjoy Life. Please welcome Toastmaster Mark Shear.
Thank you. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. It's great to be here this morning delivering a last-minute speech 5 minutes after I got here this morning. Thank you, Toastmaster. So, has this been an incredible year? Yeah. Seriously. I mean, you got to take things in perspective, right? Health is everything, bar none. But it has been an incredible year. How many of you took some time to take a vacation this year? Excellent. Glad that you took that time. I can't believe how many people I've come across this year that have crossed the pond to go over to Switzerland or go over to Greece or Spain. This year I wasn't going to do that. You want to know why? Why? Thank you, sir. Because there are beautiful, gorgeous places in this great land called the United States of America. So this year, you could either go to the beach, maybe over to New Smyrna Beach or Anna Maria Island, which I hope that they are going to restore that as soon as possible. Mountains, maybe the Smokies, maybe the Rockies, or maybe down in the Florida Keys. You know what I did? I did all three of them. Okay? So this year, my daughters said, hey, I don't want to fly across the pond. I want to go down to a place that we used to go to all the time in the Florida Keys. You go to either Marathon, you could go to Key West, but no, they like Islamorada. How many of you have been there? Beautiful, beautiful, crystal clear water. And we always like to rent a center console boat, and we don't go out fishing. You know what we do? We turn the music way up, and we just cruise around. We find reefs that we can go snorkeling in. And how many of you have been to Alligator Reef down there at Islamorada? Thank you, sir. When you're getting out there, all of a sudden you come across this crystal clear blue water. It's almost pool-like. And we just take time to just stop and just jump in and float around and have a beautiful time. There's also this restaurant there that you have to go to, and I can't remember the name of it today, but it's okay. It has the most incredible sunset. They come out and serve you cocktails, the food, and the service is absolutely amazing. In fact, this year, someone was actually proposing to their soon-be wife, and it was a really cool experience. If you haven't gone down to the Florida Keys, ladies and gentlemen, do so. We also went back. Some of you may remember that I like to go to a place called Lake Toxaway in North Carolina. It's about 30 minutes west of Brevard, about 30 minutes east of the Highlands, and I love to go up there for many things. We love to hike. They've got beautiful hikes up there. Schoolhouse Falls, Rainbow Falls. It's about a 2.5 hour out and back, and you finally get to Rainbow Falls, and it's just this huge, just gigantic fall that creates a rainbow. And the mist is hitting you, and it is so neat. I tell you what, one of the best things I enjoy doing is mountain biking. I've got 2 buddies that live in Lake Toxaway on top of the summit out there. We can either drop down into the abyss called Panther Town, right out our back door. It's raw, it's rugged, and we can disappear for about 4 hours. Or we can take time to drive down to DuPont. How many of you heard of DuPont? It's one of the best mountain bike ranges on the East Coast. It is absolutely incredible. You take about an 1.5 to 2 hour climb up, and then all of a sudden you descent down for about 30, 40 minutes. It's absolutely epic. It's like skiing on a black diamond on 2 wheels. It's absolutely beautiful. And how many of you like breweries? Oh man, there's breweries all over the place. Sierra Nevada, you can dial into a little Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, or you can go over to Oscar Blues and kick back a Dale's Pale Ale. It's endless. You can just have beer, craft beer branded, yes sir. They've got beer just flowing everywhere, and it's absolutely amazing. One thing I like best though, and you guys may remember this, I take my wife up to the top of Lake Toxaway, a place called the Meadow. It's a grassy knoll with flowers. I grab a blanket, a picnic basket, a bottle of wine. Yeah. The sunsets are amazing there. They're incredible. One thing else we did just 2 weeks ago, went out to Telluride, Colorado. Absolutely incredible. And you think the mountain biking is good at DuPont? Let me tell you what. You take a gondola, you strap your bike to the top or to the side of a gondola, and it takes you to the top of the mountain to a place that they called the bike park. And you have 3 or 4 chutes that you can fire down. And man, you don't touch the pedals except you're just flying on them, and you're on a descent for 50 minutes. It's absolutely epic. They've got berms that are like 6 to 7, 8 foot, and you're just ripping through there. It's absolutely amazing. And the hiking, oh, jeez. We started at 10,000 feet. And about 1,500 feet climb into it, I think my wife was saying, brother, this is the last thing that you're ever going to do unexpectedly to me. It was crazy. Now, so, Telluride is amazing, ladies and gentlemen. But let me tell you what, I'm not getting any younger. Okay, when I was 7, life was going about 7 miles per hour, right? When am I going to turn 8? Right? Now at 58, it's going by 58 miles per hour, and it's accelerating at an accelerating rate. So what I did this year is I ended up getting, and Michael O'Shaughnessy knows I love to surf. Back's having some issues, can't do the things that I recently like to do, but there's alternatives. I ended up purchasing a Sea-Doo 300 GTX Limited. Sound system on both sides that it sounds like an incredible sound system. The thing will go 75 miles per hour in a nanosecond in less than 4 seconds. It's absolutely crazy. And you know what I like doing now? I've got a couple buddies who have a similar jet ski. We take it out of Stuart, Florida, and we'll rip and surf waves, 7, 8 foot waves, all the way down to Fort Pierce. and we'll come up the intercoastal at 75 miles an hour, and it is absolutely beautiful. Take time to do the things you enjoy doing, fellow Toastmasters.